The collective had studied Earth for over 300 years before initiating first contact. Their anthropological survey teams had catalogued human behaviors, analyzed human biology, and constructed what they believed was a comprehensive assessment of the species. Their conclusion was unanimous. Humans were a Class 3 sentient species, intelligent enough for basic spacefaring technology, but fundamentally limited by their biological inefficiencies and emotional irrationality. Emissary Exitrol reviewed the assessment one final time before transmitting the first official greeting to Earth's governments. The greeting would be followed by the standard integration package for Class 3 species beneficial technologies in exchange for natural resources, limited self-governance under collective oversight, and gradual genetic improvements to help humans overcome their evolutionary shortcomings. Your assessment is confident in its conclusions, Exitrol observed to Chief Scientist Velnar. The data is comprehensive, Velnar replied, the bioluminescent patterns on her exoskeleton pulsing with professional pride. Humans are physically inefficient, requiring significant periods of unconsciousness daily. Their decision-making is compromised by emotional responses. Their societies are fragmented. They are predictable and will accept our guidance. Exitrol transmitted the greeting. One standard orbital cycle later, the collective representatives sat across from the assembled human delegation in New York. The humans had insisted on face-to-face negotiations rather than the more efficient neural link communications the collective had offered. Another sign of their limitations, Exitrol thought. Your integration package is comprehensive, said Dr. Sophia Chen, the lead human negotiator. But we have some concerns. Exitrol's translation implant detected an unexpectedly complex layering of vocal tones. Clarify these concerns, he requested. You're offering to fix us, said General Marcus Williams, his voice carrying a harmonic the translator flagged as controlled anger. To remake humans in your image. To improve, Exitrol corrected. Your species struggles with disease, emotional instability, and inefficient cognition. The collective offers enhancement. Dr. Chen smiled, though the expression didn't extend to her eyes. And in exchange, you get our resources and our obedience. Guidance, Exitrol corrected again. The collective has successfully integrated 27 species. And do these species still exist as they were? Asked a third human Professor Emmanuel Okafor. Or have they become copies of you? The question created an unexpected processing delay in Exitrol's cognitive matrix. They have evolved toward optimization, he finally answered. We'll need time to consider your offer, Dr. Chen said. Humanity will provide our answer in 30 days. As the human delegation departed, Velnar's bioluminescence flickered with confusion. This response was not predicted. The assessment indicated they would recognize the clear benefits immediately. Exitrol initiated a reassessment protocol. Extend the observational parameters, he instructed. Something is missing in our understanding. For the next 30 days, the collective's observation platforms recorded and analyzed human activities across the planet with unprecedented detail. Exitrol personally processed petabytes of new data, focusing particularly on anomalous behaviors that didn't align with the original assessment. He observed humans running marathons until their bodies failed, then celebrating this inefficient expenditure of energy. He watched them create art that served no practical function yet consumed vast resources. He analyzed their literature, filled with contradictions and hypothetical scenarios that had never occurred. Most concerning were the historical records of human responses to existential threats. Where other species typically sought maximum survival probability through compromise and adaptation, humans frequently chose resistance even when victory seemed statistically impossible. They are irrational in ways we fail to anticipate, Exitrol reported to the collective overseer. Their decision-making incorporates variables our models cannot account for. Irrelevant, the overseer responded. If they decline integration, we proceed to resource acquisition protocols. Their acceptance is preferred but not required. When the human delegation returned for the scheduled response, Exitral was prepared for their refusal. What he wasn't prepared for was the counter-proposal. We appreciate your offer, Dr. Chen began, but humanity must decline integration under the proposed terms. Instead, we propose an alliance of equals, with cultural and technological exchange, but no biological improvements or resource appropriation. Zitral transmitted the expected denial. The collective does not form alliances with Class 3 species. Your options are integration or standard resource acquisition protocols. General Williams leaned forward. We suspected that would be your response, which is why we're prepared to demonstrate why your classification of humanity is flawed. Professor Okafor slid a data crystal across the table. This contains the specifications for a technology we developed after studying the propulsion emissions from your ships. We reverse-engineered the principles and improved the efficiency by approximately 40%. Zitral's sensory appendages recoiled in shock as he processed the data. This is not possible. Your species lacks the cognitive frameworks for such advancements. That was your first mistake, Dr. Chen said quietly. You assumed that because we think differently, we think less effectively. Your observation platforms have been compromised for the past 27 days, General Williams added. We've been feeding them selectively filtered data while completing our preparations. Zitral's internal alarm protocols activated. Preparations for what? Dr. Chen's expression remained calm, but her voice carried that complex layering again. When a technologically advanced civilization arrives and offers to fix you while taking your resources, human history suggests caution is warranted. Every ship in your fleet is currently targeted by defense systems based on your own technology, which we've modified in ways your sensors can't detect. Zitral transmitted an emergency assessment request to the collective overseer. The response was immediate and unprecedented. Reclassify humans to Class 1 potential threat. Initiate withdrawal protocols. There has been a significant reassessment, Zitral announced, his vocal modulator struggling to maintain coherence. The collective recognizes that our understanding of human capabilities was incomplete. We withdraw our integration proposal and offer diplomatic recognition instead. Later, as the collective ships prepared to depart Earth orbit, Velnar approached Zitral in the isolation of the meditation chamber. How did we miscalculate so severely? She asked, her bioluminescence dimmed with confusion. Zitral's cognitive matrix was still processing the implications. We evaluated humans by what they are, not by what they can become. We saw their emotions as weaknesses rather than alternative processing systems. We interpreted their fragmented societies as disunity rather than diversity of approach. Will the collective adapt to this new understanding? Velnar wondered. Zitral's external membranes shifted in what humans might have recognized as a rueful smile. We must. That is the final irony in our attempt to improve humans. We instead discovered it is we who need to evolve. On Earth, as the alien fleet disappeared from orbit, Dr. Chen stood at her office window, looking at the night sky. Do you think they'll come back? Asked General Williams. Eventually, she replied, but next time, perhaps as genuine allies rather than conquerors. Professor Okafor joined them, his expression thoughtful. Their mistake was fundamental. They couldn't imagine that a species taking a different evolutionary path might still reach equivalent or superior outcomes. A very human mistake, ironically, Dr. Chen observed with a smile, assuming everyone else thinks the way you do. Above them, the stars continued their slow dance across the heavens unchanged, yet somehow now seeming a little less alien.